Question 4 of paper 2 for June of 2024. In the diagram, the circle centered at C is drawn. A and B are points on the circle. E is the midpoint of AB. 4.1. Calculate the coordinates of E, the midpoint of AB. So for the solution of 4.1, we can immediately write down E, and the x value of E is the middle between the x values of A and B, and the y value of E is the middle between the y values of A and B. So therefore, E is equals to 1 and -1. So my x value would be 1 and my y value is -1. 4.2. Calculate the length of AB. Leave your answer in third form. So for 4.2, you can find the length of AB by using the distance formula that you can find on your formula sheet. So the x of A is 5, the x of B is 3, so it's minus 3, and I'll square that, minus the y of A, which is 1, minus the y of B, and I square that, and I take the square root. And if I place that in my calculator, I have square root of 80, or we can say 4 root 5. Notice that the x of B is a negative value, so 5 minus 3 would actually become 5 plus 3, which is 8. And the y of B is also negative, so inside of this bracket I have 1 minus 3, which is simply 4. So just be mindful of that substitution. 4.3. Determine the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. So what they mean by the perpendicular bisector, it is the line that goes through AB at 90 degrees, and the word bisector means that goes through the point E, so the midpoint of line AB. So we already have the coordinates of E as 1 and -1. So if I can find the gradient of line AB, then I can find the gradient of the line that we need to find, and I have the point on the line also. So for 4.3, I would say the gradient of line AB is equals to the difference of y values, which is -3 minus 1, divided by the difference of x values, which is -3 minus 5. And that simplifies to a half. So therefore, the gradient of the line that we want to find is equals to -2, because AB is perpendicular to the line that we want to find, and the product of their gradients is -1. So for the equation of the line, we have y is equals to mx plus c. We have the gradient of -2. And in order to find the y-intercept, we can substitute a point on that line. So y is -1, x is 1, and therefore the y-intercept would be +1. So I move the -2 to the right-hand side, and that becomes 2 minus 1, which is 1. So therefore, the equation of the perpendicular bisector is -2x plus 1. 4.4. Show that P is equal to -3. So P is the missing y value and the coordinates of the center of the circle. Now, what we do know is that we have the equation of the line that moves through the center of the circle. And that equation is y is equals to -2x plus 1. Now, the reason that that line moves through the center of the circle is because we have the perpendicular bisector of AB. So AB is already cut into half, and we have that perpendicular line. So you can see it's one of the theorems that we learned in circle geometry, that the line from the center to the midpoint of the chord bisects the chord. So that line would move through the center of the circle. So for 4.4, I have y is equals to -2x plus 1. I don't know the y value. We know that that is p, and the x value at point C is 2. And if I simplify, I have p is equals to negative 4 plus 1, and that is negative 3. 4.5, show by calculation that the equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y minus 12 equal to 0. So to answer question 4.5, we need to find the equation of the circle. So we can find the equation of the circle on our formula sheet. And I need 3 parts in this equation. I need the a value, the b value, and the radius. Now a and b are the coordinates of the center of the circle. So we have x minus a, which is 2, plus y minus b, which is p, and that is negative 3, squared is equals to the radius squared. So we have a partial solution to the equation of the circle. So we still need to find the radius. So the radius is the length of the line BC. And what I know is that if P is negative 3, then we can actually see we don't have to calculate the length of the radius, because can you see the y values is the same? So therefore the radius of the circle would be the difference in the x values. So the difference between negative 3 and 2 is 5. So therefore, the radius of the circle is the length of BC, which is 5 units. So our equation of the circle is x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared, which is 25. Now you just need to expand the brackets, and that becomes x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 6y plus 9 minus 25 is equal to 0. And when I add like terms together, I have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y minus 12. So what I've done is I added 4, 9, and subtracted 25 to get to negative 12. And I rearranged the equation to look like the equation in the question. 4.6. Calculate the values of t for which the straight line y is equals to tx plus 8 will not intersect the circle. So let us start with our equation of a straight line y is equals to tx plus 8. So I'm going to quickly draw it in here. We know that the y-intercept is plus 8. And the question says will not intersect the circle. So for now, I'm going to ignore the not part, and I want to find a line that intersects the circle or touches the circle. So if the y-intercept is 8, then I have 2 possible lines that will intersect with the circle. So we have 2 lines, y is equals to tx plus 8 and y is equals to tx plus 8. So let's work through it. We have the equation of the circle as x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y minus 12 is equal to 0. And we also have the equation of a line that touches the circle. So we will get to the not intersecting part in a moment. But for now, what we know is that we can replace y in the equation of our circle with tx plus 8. Because at these points of intersection, the line would be equal to the circle. So let's quickly do that. We have x squared plus y squared, which is tx plus 8 squared, minus 4x plus 6 times y, which is tx plus 8 minus 12, equal to 0. So what I'll do next is I will expand or multiply out these brackets. So we have x squared plus t squared times x squared plus 16tx plus 64. So these three terms is me multiplying out tx plus 8 squared minus 4x plus 6tx plus 48 minus 12 equal to 0. So I have quite a long equation with the variables of t and x. So let's clean this up by adding like terms. So I have x squared plus t squared x squared plus 22tx minus 4x plus 100 is equal to 0. Now it is tempting to try and solve for x in terms of t, but let's get to the not intersecting part. So if this line or these lines are not intersecting the circle, it means that they would be away from the circle. So now you need to rely a little bit on your knowledge of delta. So for delta, when there is one intersection point, delta would be equal to 0. And for delta, when we have real roots, it will be bigger than 0. And for delta with no roots, we'll have delta smaller than 0. So the no roots part refers to not intersecting. So I know that normally when we work with delta, we're thinking about a parabola and trying to discuss those roots. But can you see that this is an equation of x squared and tx's and a constant value? So I can rewrite this equation in the format of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. And from there, when there's no intersection, we can find delta smaller than 0, where delta is b squared minus 4ac. Let's quickly find that. For the a value, I'll look at the first two terms here. We have x squared as a common factor. So if I factorize out x squared, we have 1 plus t squared times x squared. And this will be our a value. Then in the next two terms, can you see we have a common factor of x? So if I factorize out the x, we have 22 minus 4 times x, and that represents our b value, and then plus 100 equal to 0. And the 100 that stands by itself is our c value. So for delta, we have b squared minus 4ac. Now b is 22t minus 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1 plus t squared times c, which is 100. And we'll make delta smaller than 0. So now we need to expand again. So if I multiply out, I have 484t squared minus 176t plus 16 minus 400t squared minus 400 is smaller than 0. And if I add like terms, I have 84t squared minus 176t minus 384 is smaller than 0. And I notice I can divide everywhere by 4. So I have 21t squared minus 44t minus 96 is smaller than 0. And now, if you want to, you can use your calculator to find the critical values. So it will be 7t minus 24 and 3t plus 4. So those are the factors if you factorize that trinomial. But you can always use your calculator to find the critical values of 24 over 7 and negative 4 over 3. So if I draw a number line with a parabola which represents the t's, I have a critical value of negative 4 over 3 and 24 over 7. And can you see this parabola is smaller than 0 for the values between negative 4 over 3 and 24 over 7. So we need to look at smaller than 0 because that is how we would solve for delta. So therefore, t needs to be between or smaller than 24 over 7 and bigger than negative 4 over 3. Thank you for watching. Remember to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to Mathenatic.